This is akin to having a cousin who has a huge credit card problem, and he says, "Don't worry, I have a solution. I need you to come down to the bank with me to get a higher limit or to get an 8th credit card." Well, that's not the solution. The solution is doing something meaningful about the underlying spending and borrowing problem.
The balanced budget amendment consists of 3 parts. The first part is the basic balance that revenues and outlays should match. The second part is a cap on total federal spending expressed as a percentage of the economy. And the third part is a supermajority requirement that says in order to raise taxes or raise the debt limit, you need a 2/3 vote in each house.
To amend the Constitution to balance the budget, and it's the only way I will vote to raise the debt ceiling. Thank you.
I see no way that we can reach a resolution to this if we take anything off the table, whether it's the foreign policy expenditures or the entitlements. If we pretend that we can do this with nickel and diming and think it's an accounting problem, it's not going to work. It's much bigger than that. It has to do with defining the role of government. When the role of government is properly defined, the budget will be balanced.
It's not enough for Congress simply to say, we're raising the debt limit, but it's okay because we're cutting a lot of money elsewhere. If those cuts aren't made right now, they don't mean much because we can't obligate a future Congress. The only way we can bind a future Congress to do what we think needs to be done is to amend the Constitution. That's what we're proposing to do with the cut, cap, balance pledge. That's why I wholeheartedly endorse it and embrace it. And in so doing, I predict that this will quickly fill the Congress in both houses and in both political parties. People from around the country will sign on to this pledge because their constituents will demand nothing less. Thank you very much.
We have increased the debt certainly more during this administration than under any other previous administration. That is not to say that we had particularly responsible spending habits prior to this administration. It's a problem that is somewhat systemic and therefore requires a solution that is permanent and systemic, that addresses the systemic roots of the problem.
Well, look, pretty clearly, I like to ask people, what's the difference between Congress and a magician? And the answer is, there is no difference. They both depend on sleight of hand. And the only difference is that, people like to see the sleight of hand of a magician. They're tired of the sleight of hand in Congress. They're tired of the promises of cuts. They're tired of promises that we are going to balance the budget sometime in the future. And the bottom line is we have to put it in the Constitution if it's going to mean anything. And the American people are ready for that.
Cut, cap, balance, making that a requirement in terms of any increase in the debt ceiling is a responsible way to attack the true problem as well as deal with the immediate situation. I strongly support it.
Presidential signature is not required on a constitutional amendment, just 2/3 votes in the House and Senate. So there's no way he could veto it. He would simply use his persuasive powers to talk Democrats into not supporting it. And that's a pretty dangerous thing when you've got 80% public support.